G'day guys, now we're going to be looking at post-recovery massage for the adductors. Once again, another area that often gets missed, so let's make sure once again we put that in our repertoire. I like to have my client positioned sort of side-lying. It's probably the most comfortable position in doing adductors, as opposed to having them obviously on their back with their leg open, their hip externally rotated. So we don't sort of want to do that. So this is much more comfortable for both, not only myself, but also for the athlete. Right, so we're going to use a little bit of the Premac lotion to begin with. Once again, probably a pump and a bit. And what we're going to do here is we're going to start obviously medial knee all the way up and just stopping short of the pubic bone there as well. So we want to pick up as much of the adductors as we can. So we've got, keep in mind that we've got vastus medialis here, then we've got adductor longus, and then if we drop off that adductor longus, then we've got the big adductor magnus, which is a massive muscle and once again an integral part to the hip as well. So we want to make sure we pick up those. If you were to venture off a little bit more medial, then you'd be picking up obviously the hamstrings. So hamstrings, adductor magnus, adductor longus, and then we're into the vastus medialis group as well. All right, so as I said, broad contact to begin with. So let's get our Premac lotion all over the muscle group that we're working. Okay, so that pressure, as I said, needs to be broad. Last thing we want to be doing is digging in deep into those adductors. It's a sensitive area. All right, once we've got that broad application done, then we can start to introduce some of the recovery massage cream with the wonderful sour cherry, omega-3s. And once again, we're just going to work broadly. Now what we can do here is something I do like to do is that you can position the leg in different positions. So if you want to bring a little bit of extra hip flexion up, okay, that changes a little bit of the tension on the adductors as well. And then you can possibly open up the leg as well. So all of those positional changes do make a difference. So let's start down hitting that adductor magnus, okay? And then I can work up to adductor longus, then I can hit a little bit of vastus medialis, then I can come back down again. And then if I want to, I can actually introduce, believe it or not, a nice broad forearm, okay? But that means we're not coming in with elbow, it's just a broad forearm. And then what we can do is just take the leg in and out as we work along the tissue itself, okay? So just nice and broad. Keep the movement small. You don't want to go all the way through the range of movement because that just tends to challenge the tissue just that little bit too much. So just nice and broad all the way through that range, all the way up. Making sure that you're picking up adductor longus, come down, adductor magnus, and even a little bit of that vastus medialis as well. Okay, so feel free to try and challenge the position of the hip. You can bring it obviously down, obviously into a little bit more of that extension range of movement, or a little bit more up into that flexion. You can open up the leg a little bit more just to change all the tension on all of those adductors and obviously the quadriceps as well. All right, so that is post-event massage for the adductors.